Has the left ever missed the point so spectacularly that in the decision to back NatWest and its dystopian attacks on freedom of speech in debanking Farage for holding political views shared by the majority of ordinary Brits? Former BBC establishment lefty Emily Maitlis led the charge this week, snaring about awful populists while completely misrepresenting the truth about Nigel's dire predicament and what it means for democracy.
Farage made it an argument about free speech, about liberty, about censorship, when it wasn't. No one was shutting him down, no one was stopping him from banking, no one was calling him names. They simply waited until he'd paid off a mortgage, having decided ahead of time that they would call it quits at that point. And this isn't a public utility, it's not electricity, it's a posh, private bank. It's in the name. Yet the power of the populist somehow is to turn utter entitlement into victimhood.
But what Ms Maitlis fails to mention there is that Farage spent months carefully considering his position before going public, writing to the now axed Coutts CEO Peter Flavel 3 times with no response and getting his custom turned down by another 7 banks before speaking out. He was desperate and he understood the plight of others. Besides, surely Emily should know the principle of free speech is that you stand up for the rights of those who you disagree with most. Which is why, for example, I was one of the first voices who spoke up for the hard-left media organisation Novara Media that regularly offers deranged criticism of me when they were deplatformed by YouTube. But the left's tone deafness continued with Gemma Forte's crude dismissal of the wider problem.
Can't lie, I'm not going to lose a massive amount of sleep over Nigel Farage losing a bank account and having to bank at NatWest. Honestly, my violin is tinsy. We've got bigger issues in this country.
Then there was this from Yasmin Alabaya-Brown on Jeremy Vine.
So he's now a victim? The most entitled man, politician? Oh, now he's the victim? Let me tell you this. Do you know how many Muslims, particularly, but not only Muslims, Muslim organisations, because I used to run a charity, have had their bank accounts closed over the last 5 years?
I don't know.
No, huge numbers.
Oh, okay.
Never explained.
I thought you had the number.
Again, Ms Alabaya-Brown completely misses the point. Farage is campaigning against all these organisations and individuals being debanked. So whatever Muslim foundation she refers to will actually benefit from his campaign. But I think Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves had possibly the worst take of them all. The woman who in a few short months could be responsible for our entire banking sector had an opportunity to finally show Labour could be on the side of ordinary folk rather than the establishment. She failed, spectacularly, and instead decided to pathetically turn the issue into another boring debate of identity politics because Dame Alison Rose just happens to be a woman.
I don't like some of the, frankly, what I see as bullying attitudes towards her. She's the first female chief executive of NatWest. She took over at a time when that bank had real big problems. It seems to me that Alison Rose has done a good job turning that bank around.
The Guardian went even further today, suggesting the reckoning of our banks was damaging the international reputation of UK PLC. How wrong could they be? The only damage being done to our reputation is through the pernicious culture of censorship sweeping through every public body, every globalist institution, every woke corporation, and the highly censored mainstream media. If there's one issue that should unite the left and the right behind the importance of our overlords butting out of our legitimate political views, it is this one. The fact they care more about their ongoing disdain for Nigel and indeed GB News, I believe, is a depressing indictment on the left.